Hey everybody, it's the Last Robocar here. Welcome to another episode of Let's Play Prey, and this time we're actually going to go into Psychotronics. I've duffed around long enough. We're actually going to go in there and we're going to see what exactly has been going on with the Typhon and with the station and all the scientists and the terribleness and the horribleness and I'm not even talking about what the aliens have done. And joining me on finding all this out is, of course, Cool Guy.
And you're not even talking about it. Yeah. Well, you got me giggling with that last comment there. And I will also say, it sounds like you're apologizing for duffing around, dude. Never apologize for power overwhelming, which is what you did last episode.
Well, we can't take too much advantage of that yet because we don't quite have the really fun stuff researched. But we can still invest in a little bit, and I can show off a little bit, and I can also get some more inventory space. So, on that note, let's jump straight in. So yeah, here's the door I wouldn't walk through before, and here's me
Guts.
going and just showing off something as well. We've actually got a little page where we can see that what state Morgan's in at the moment.
Just below the threshold where turrets will turn on you. I'm glad
Yeah.
that it gives you that information just like straight the fuck out.
Yeah, so it was really funny that someone on comments was like, you guys really should get the recycling and some more suit room, and that was actually this was recorded before that comment was made.
So basically, you're saying you agree.
Yes.
Oh man, I see guts, and all I can feel is like the Nickelodeon guts thing going on.
Yeah, that's supposed to spook you, but I think it just flew over my head, so I didn't see it. Because you hear the music's going super spooky.
Yeah, I had no idea what the hell it was supposed to be.
Yeah, so that's the science operator. The science operator will restore your psi if it's ever low.
I see you've already figured out how to use your psychoscope. Alright, Morgan, I know I can't make you stay put, but you're gonna die down there if you don't listen to me. I'm sending you the code to a safe in Director Kelstrup's office. I'm certain he's hidden Neuromods there. Use them to install one of the Typhon abilities. That's what this is all about, Morgan.
A little bit ahead of you there, Alex.
Still life making it possible. Putting what they can do into us. You've just forgotten.
This episode will give us a little bit more insight into Alex, and sort of makes him seem a little less less broken than may have seemed.
Or less of a colossal jerk.
Kind of, sorta. At least to his sister.
Boy, I am amazingly surprised that destroying that glue didn't immediately make like a fucking flashover, like just consume you in almighty hellfire from whence there was no escape.
Yeah,
I get that you couldn't see any from the main door. I don't care. It's game fiat, and it made me nervous.
The thing we have to watch for is the bolts of lightning coming out of the broken stuff. That you get too close to that will ruin your armor and everything very quickly.
I remember I was certain games. It's always really interesting to see if they've taken the time to model the damage from arc flashes like that. I remember I was playing The Long Dark and I was wondering if, oh, that is rude. That is rude, Mimic. Don't even. Just
I was
don't
suspicious.
step.
I was suspicious of that at the moment I stepped in.
Just like, hey, dispense the psi hypo. Nope. God,
Okay,
that was
so
really rude.
How I'm going to solve the problem here is I'm going to turn the power off, and then I'm just going to go up and fix it. Don't need to muck around too much, and then I'll go back and turn the power back on.
You mean like literally what a normal repair person would do?
Yes, rather than just gluing it and then like jumping around on furniture trying to reach it and potentially shock myself.
It's almost like you don't want to die.
It's almost like I'm an actual person with thinking brain and responsibility.
Seriously. But I remember my first setup into The Long Dark when, like, at one point the power comes on for a little bit and there's like this hanging cable out there, and I'm like, I wonder if would actually hurt me, since the entire premise of this game is that there's no more electricity anymore. So I walked into it, and it just immediately dealt like half my life in damage, multiple burns all over my body, and I'm like, this was a mistake.
Yeah. Wow. So an interesting thing, they've got a bit of things going on here. Apparently, they shunted this fella named 37 into a room with the telepath, and the telepath did not mind control him. But he still came out of it incredibly disturbed as a result, and may have like bitten someone's finger off.
A warning. If you scan enough Typhon organisms, you'll be able to install neuromods that are powerful, but they're the reason we're in this mess. For one thing, the station's defensive turrets will identify you as an alien threat. There might be worse consequences I can't yet see. I don't want you to lose yourself.
We will see the worst consequences.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
And you will not see it coming. But yeah, here's some footage of some very early footage of Typhon contact. In fact, this is the very first contact between a Typhon being and a human being.
Mimic just rolls up out of the fucking vacuum of space. Well, that's goddamn comforting.
And kills a man.
Damn, son.
So from the very beginning, they were not on friendly
hostile
terms.
You know, I mean, they were. There wasn't some situation where it was just like, maybe this thing is cool and we can do something weird with them. And oh god, now that we're touching their ghoulies, they want to claw at ours.
Interesting to note how that mimic seems to be looking around with one of its legs. Maybe that's how they see. Also, interesting to note is that the other mimics have just killed one. Well, they haven't killed him,
the
actually.
Shit out of each other. Okay, so that's interesting.
In much the same way that injecting themselves into a human corpse can produce more mimics, or we can see that mimics performing a certain function on other mimics, once they reach a certain sort of, I suppose, size number of themselves, they create a being known as a weaver.
Interesting. Okay. So that's probably part of their reproduction cycle.
And there's somewhat interesting to note as well is there's this belief in theory that what the mimics are copying is stuff from a parallel dimension. They have a lot of theories about mimics that go on in this, but someone basically, one of the notes we'll see will theorize that they sort of basically just shift themselves into like a sort of a quantum time state.
Calvino, what did you do to my conference room? What? Yes. I was just about to call you. All I see is a dot. Yes, that's right. It's the calibration system for the new touchscreen. You only have to run it one time. Are you kidding me? Just follow the dot. When it turns green, touch it. It should... Damn it, Calvino, I do not have time to play sing-along with your bouncing ball. I'll call you back.
Yeah, so boss of the year.
Alright, sure, whatever, dude.
We need to talk about Annalise Gallegos.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a interesting thing.
Grounding resistor. So, immune to recycler charges. Okay.
Oh no, the grounding resistor is resistant to electrical damage.
Oh, electrical damage. Okay, I misinterpreted which one you had just picked up. Yeah, being resistant to electrical damage will definitely come in handy. Oh god. This reminds me of the, hello!
There are a lot of people really looking forward to seeing your response to that.
Okay then! So all of that, like... I'm sitting here thinking, this reminds me of this one dumbass schoolyard joke that we used to play as kids. We'd put a dot on either one side of our hand, and just put press on each side. And every time you press it, you turn over your hand, and if somebody did it like 2 or 3 times, you say, "This is how you keep an idiot busy for hours." This is the local equivalent of after pressing it a couple of times, you just pull back and punch the dude in the fucking nose. Whoa!
Yeah, ambush didn't quite go as planned, but that's okay.
Yeah, he was rather resistant to that. Jeez,
yeah, it seems like the Looking Glass
Louise.
took the brunt of that, which is a bit weird, but whatever. We got him.
Oh man. Okay. So, I mean, I tend to handle jump scares reasonably well, but that was a damn fine jump scare.
Yeah, it was very good. The game does not have many jump scares, so that was pretty good.
That was easy 8 out of 10, perhaps 9.
But yeah, so a lot of people who were just telling me in private, man, I can't wait till you get to that part. That part in Psychotronics, everyone was just like, yeah, I know exactly the part everyone's talking about.
Yeah, people were mentioning it in our thread, and I was just like, I'm not even going to try to figure out what you're talking about. I want it to be a surprise. I don't want to try to figure it out. I'm not even gonna mess with it. And I'm glad I didn't. That was worth it. Holy crap, that owned.
Yeah, it actually was showing the Phantom in the background of being further up the stairs. So that's how I knew to sort of crawl down and hide from it, because it was coming down to say hello. Atrium is kind of a little bit of a hub. There's like it's kind of like, you could almost call it like two figure eight, or a single figure eight. Like one section
Typhoid
based around
biomass,
here,
got it.
and then another, yeah. So this is where you'd learn how to do scanning if you weren't like me and sort of, whooshed off somewhere else.
Already did it.
Yeah. So, and the second one is sort of centered around the I can't remember what it was called, but it was the Sputnik satellite, I think it was. Yeah. So as you can see, the satellite's in there. There's a Weaver in there from where the footage was. He's been there for a long time.
Scanning. Neuroimaging shows your mental resources are free. This should help. That should help you concentrate.
So we'll be going up here to take a look at all the lab areas.
I don't want to figure out what they're injecting in you that should help you concentrate. I mean, that is some sort of like crazy Russian nootropic stuff, I'm sure. Of course, still it probably ranks about a 2.0 on the 10.0 scale of creepy on this station. So what nits am I picking at this point?
Mm-hmm. There we go. So we got our airlock to the Psychotronics area
Yay!
opened up. That gives us a shortcut to the hardware labs. They're actually relatively close together in terms of the distance you can travel.
Crow flies.
Pretty much. Crow floats. And I'm just showing this is the reason why I went the other way, because no stairs.
Okay,
You get,
that's fair.
you can take that as a challenge and just goo your way up, though. There's like nothing that's stopping you from doing that.
That was honestly what I would have done in that situation. I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, so what? You glue from here? That was literally what I was thinking.
You stare at a broken set of stairs and go, "Is this a challenge?"
I mean, there was one of your quotes about how I play games, who always struck me as incredibly hilarious. It was during Fall of Cybertron. And you were just like, when one of my friends commented about our different play styles, when Robokai takes damage, it's because he made a mistake. When I take damage, it's because I saw an anti-headbutt shield said a challenge and went to headbutt it as hard as I fucking could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were a challenge. So now we got ourselves a medical operator as well. So we're going to be making good use of this guy.
This won't take long. There. All better. Don't forget to complete a patient questionnaire. It will be invaluable.
Morgan's
Yeah,
notes
sure,
about
buddy.
Morgan's notes about the medical operators is that she does not like their bedside manner.
I was going to say, like, the bedside manner is clearly supposed to be comforting, but it just jams directly into Uncanny Valley. I've never met a doctor that cheerful.
Then there's the one in the more recent Hitman game. The quasi learning giant medical thing in the Japanese area.
Tell me the story. I've actually not played past Paris in the new Hitman game.
Oh, it's okay. There's a Let's Play on it going on at the moment. You should go watch it.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll have to catch up on that one then.
One of the people who watches our Let's Plays is a commentator on Jabba Fett. He's great. He trolled the shit out of
Oh, really? Jabba? Yeah, no, he owns. Okay. So another reason why I have to watch this. Shit.
Yeah, it's Argot Chaos, I believe his name is. And Jabba. This guy
There
just gave
you
me
go.
this guy gave me all sorts of trouble.
Honestly, yeah, you shaking your head after that. I don't blame you. I was looking out at the frickin' whiskey bottle that you were shooting, and I was just like, okay, yeah, that's fair.
The whiskey bottle only got landed there because I shot an explosive thing that sort of threw it.
Well, sure, but it still could have been a mimic.
Yeah, they do a good job of trying to make you super paranoid, like when the station shakes and everything sort of just falls over a little. That's pretty good.
I still really enjoyed the name for the something awful thread that you gave it, Prop Hunt Extreme. This is basically that. It's prop hunt.
Oh, we haven't gone to the best lab yet.
Oh, good. Maybe as many as 8 mimics. Sounds like a challenge!
Yeah, let's go make them all angry. Yeah, like, instantly angering all of the mimics.
The grunt of exertion when Morgan drops when Morgan throws her wrench around is just continues to mess with me because it sounds like damage, and I'm like, what the fuck hit you for a good half second?
Yeah, I was trying to get at them while they couldn't actually get in the room with me, but
I was wondering why you didn't just throw a recycler charge at them. Fuck those guys.
Don't want to
seriously.
recycle all the stuff that's in the room. That's all.
Alright, that's fair. Well, you got a status going on. Is that... Okay, that must
That's
be
my
weird.
suit.
Okay.
My suit has taken some damage. It's just about half strength. And of course, all of that fighting has alerted some phantoms.
There was also a red one. It looked like an EKG meter.
Oh, that was me exhausted because I used all my stamina up. Which meant I couldn't
alright.
do anything until my stamina bar filled back up.
Yeah.
Fairly standard stamina management trope in a video game.
Yup.
The catching the breath period.
I'm still a little bit sad that in terms of like running or whatever, more games don't emulate System Shock 1. Like effectively the way it worked there is that you could use the sprint button as much as you wanted, but after oh boy. Oh damn! Brilliant ambush.
You might have noticed the exact point my brain went, hold on a second, flammable tube. As I was waiting there, I
was too busy talking about this game's spiritual predecessor to notice the flammable tube. That was brilliant. I loved that. Oh man, absolutely gorgeous, Robokai. Absolutely gorgeous.
This game has turned me into the most amazing of guerrilla fighters.
Oh god. Like I'm sitting here snacking and drinking hot chocolate, and this is the only way to enjoy this Let's Play. Seriously.
So something happened here. It's very interesting to note. This is Annalise. This is the lady that Alex said that she needed to have a talk with the other fella about.
Sure.
We're about to see what that's about.
Hello, Dr. Kelstrup? I wanted to follow up on my request to view one of the volunteer abdication contracts.
Anna, you're supposed to be off today.
I had some free time, so I thought...
I've already told you, the VACs are sealed documents. My hands are tied.
But isn't there some allowance for the researchers? I mean, my god, I'm the one pushing the button.
Look, I understand. I really do. You wouldn't be human if this was easy.
I just want to be sure.
Believe me, everything we've done is perfectly legal.
That's because Talos 1 is in extra-national space. There are no laws.
Anna, you're tired. It's affecting your judgment. Now, I've tolerated it for a while, but enough is enough. You need to take some time. Understood?
Yes, Dr. Kelstrup. I understand.
Good. Oh, look, you've made me late for a meeting with Alex.
Uh-huh. That I understand sounded like the most loaded I understand I've ever heard in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I understand a bit more than you might understand.
Not too late to flush it all out in airlock, you know.
I'm sure. Are you having second thoughts?
No way. I'm in. It's just... I'm not the one incriminating myself.
There's no happy ending for me either way. I'm trying not to think about it.
Sorry.
Did you make arrangements?
Mitchell's on board. He's gonna bring me food.
I don't need to know the details. Better that way. It has to happen on your next rotation. I put everything in a package labeled mementos. The package is in my cabin. It's got to go to every media outlet imaginable.
Got it.
And Quentin, be careful. Security is already scrutinizing me more than usual.
Very interesting to note that Annalise does not look like she's been killed by a mimic in the same way that the fellow with his gun out was killed by a mimic.
Correct.
It's
She
highly
was
likely.
definitely-
Yeah,
she was
either
definitely executed.
well, or he was coming in to arrest her when everything went wrong and she died by accident. But basically they were onto her, and I love the way it
Loved
jumped.
it.
Insufficient Typhon material.
Weirdly, it wouldn't let me shoot it again. I've had lots of really weird interactions with the mimics as of late. I'm just like, come on, dude, you've been made. Just let me shoot you. Let me finish the job.
You've been. I've done the human trick for this time around. Oh, okay, they were inside the glue. For a minute there, I was wondering if they were like, you know. Wow, you're just slowly incinerating that poor turret.
It's a liability.
I don't blame you. I mean, we figured out what the Technopath did last video. I mean, I'm not questioning you about this anymore.
Yes. So there's this idea that Mimesis video book theorizes the idea they shift themselves into sort of a quantum time bubble that allows them to it allows them to basically pass extremely long periods of time in an instant and then pop back out again. That's how they would, drift through deep space until they can find other stuff. And yeah, that's a little bit more about 37 and how utterly disconcerting he is in his behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Quantum time bubble. Now I'm wondering if I'm reading another Peter Hamilton book.
There are a lot of theory. There's nothing concrete about how they work, but it certainly would explain the fact that when we use our powers, time stops.
Walls. Son of a bitch is gloating, I know it. How are you holding up?
I dropped a couple of nightlights to lure the phantoms away. Put sticky notes on every goddamn thing I'm sure isn't a mimic. You?
Good. Safe inside the armory. Squashed a mimic that slipped in, but that's it. I got everything sealed tight.
What's our plan?
Wait for rescue?
You know, if we make it, Alex is just going to pull our mods.
You want to remember this shit?
I think we could get out through the guts. Work our way up to the...
Not a mimic. Not a mimic.
Okay. Say the word.
Yes, this is the other lab everyone was looking forward to us going into, just because everything
so
in here
beautiful.
has been labeled. Some dude has obviously just gone around and hit everything with a wrench, and then stuck.
I don't even blame him. It's just like, okay, if you need to be able to evaluate the place quickly, and you don't have time to memorize everything, then this is a very coherent way to handle this. It's fucking hilarious to see, but this is coherent. I can respect the hell out of this.
Yeah.
Null wave trend. Remind me what those do?
They disable psychic powers.
Okay.
So these are some of the hypotheses they have regarding how the mimics work.
Yeah. Stays connected via a warm. Man, this really is a Peter Hamilton book. Holy buckets. I mean that's not a criticism. I have listened to literally hundreds of hours of that man's work on Audible. But, I mean, his preferred sci-fi hand waves are quantum mechanics and wormholes.
I love that email. I got their theories. He's like, nah, it's gonna be magic. So don't take a 3 pilgrimage to the autarky.
Oh man.
Of the domed, I think it was. And there's it seems there's someone missing in all of that. They're like, hey, do you guys remember? Because it's very easy to run a highly unethical space laboratory when you can just pull out people's neuromods and therefore make it so that they don't remember any of the horrible things that have happened.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on exactly how easy it is for you to sleep at night. Deploy null wave.
Didn't really do anything, but that's okay.
We looked at all of those pods, and none of them seemed to have a whole lot of psychic powers, or any sort of organic matter for that matter.
Fascinating. There's something almost angelic about those golden filaments, like frozen light. The Typhon weave it out of thin air. The question is why? We have a lot of theories, but no solid answers. Not yet. I wish you were with me, Morgan. Not the way you are now. The way you used to be. I know we could tackle this together. Like old times.
Boy, isn't that some deja vu. Those golden threads make me think of the Argon energy from the new Doom. And I can only imagine, like, Morgan responding to the Argon energy the way the Doom Marine did. It's like, even in that game, you get there and it seems like it's about to set up this moral choice for you, and the Doom guy is just like, nope, fuck demons, fuck hell, fuck everything to do about this, and fuck you for thinking this is a good idea. It's just like, yeah, that's Doom guy.
Doom guy is probably the greatest protagonist in like first-person shooter.
He's just gonna go around and start killing things until it all starts making sense.
You can only see his hands and his legs, and the body language is still fucking perfect. But
It really is.
So we've almost got all of this area explored. There's like a transcribey thing there. It's time to.
This is adorable.
That transcribe thing probably like tells us how to get in there, but fuck it.
I love that so much.
I decided at this point I'm just going to turn off the
Oh yeah,
turn off
the
Who is
optional
December thing.
things. It's just like, I know where I'm going, game. Chill out.
Yeah, got no interest in that.
God, I'm gonna have to play the shit out of this game after we're done.
Are capable of, and not capable of. It seems prudent to revisit the Project Cobalt material.
Igor?
Neuromods can already adapt Typhon material to the human mind. There's no reason in principle the reverse wouldn't work.
Say you managed to insert human neurons into a Typhon. How will you know it was successful?
The new neural structures would need to mature over a series of actual experiences, or simulated ones.
What?
Simulate the experiences. Calvino, he has...
Right, okay, look, it's fascinating, but let's focus on what we know is working. I don't want anyone devoting resources to this.
James Morgan had this idea
It
about
scared the hell out of Alex.
about the idea about teaching a Typhon to be a person by using Neuromods.
I think that definitely kind of sounds like what is currently happening with the Phantoms. I mean, whether anybody devoted resources to it or not, the Typhon are devoting resources to it. That's for goddamn sure.
Oh yeah. It's like, why is all that exploding? Uh-oh!
Oh, yeah, no, I saw the breathing subtitle and it was like, this is a problem. This is a problem. I'm not sure why it's a problem yet, but I know it's a goddamn problem. Whoa. That must have been an old nemesis of yours. He had barely any health left.
No, he walked into the fire, that's why he had no health left.
Is that... Does it do damage that quickly?
Yes.
Oh, alright then.
Fire... That fire there is like... It's not regular fire, it's like petrol fire. It's
Yeah,
like chemical fire. It cooks. It
definitely
cooks
oil.
you, it cooks turrets, it cooks mimics.
Appointment?
What are you even
Are
talking
you here
to,
for an
medical?
appointment? Settle down,
Right.
son.
I'm like, time to get up there and... Wait, I must kill this!
Psy-hypo used. Damn! Good God. You were
And then
not
the game
taking
glitches out
any
and won't let
shit
me...
from that guy.
The game glitches out and won't let me grab the other two things off of it. And I'm like,
Oh.
no! Game, what?
It's part of the ritual. You must render all of your enemies to naked diaper men. Even if they don't have any clothes that you can confiscate, it is the principle of the thing that counts.
Hello, Dr. Yu.
Just didn't want him sneaking up on me, so I bonsai'd down from up above and violently killed him.
Dude, I would have done exactly the same thing. You make sure the area is secure.
So then you can start doing things like this, where you climb around places.
Oh, there you go. Good work.
Well, it's not exactly the safest spot yet, but I'll figure it out as we go.
You've got the meat of the problem solved. From here on in, it's just details. So, okay. I was just like, I'm not sure. I was sitting here like not sure what concept was more scary. That those were mimics that came down right next to you, or that you just had a whole bunch of fucking explosive containers come down and no idea where they came from or if there's more.
Yeah, some
Criminy,
poor souls
okay.
has made an attempt to try and get up somewhere maybe that the mimics couldn't reach. Not.
Yeah, this seems to have worked out about as well as it did in Return of the Living Dead. It didn't work there either.
Oh, the mimics are far too leapy. Also, they never actually got fully away. This is obviously when the breach happened. This was them unable to get anywhere. But
I keep forgetting that you have your little maneuvering jets. So
I love it.
I had a moment of blind panic right there. Well, good night, Mimic.
Yes. Okay, quick, give me medicine.
Bruising, abrasions, fatigue. Nothing like that. I'll have you feeling better soon. There.
Thanks, Doc.
Don't forget.
Oh, better. He's still creepy. Like that damn thing is still creepy.
And that's about half of this area of Psychotronics done. We still have one more area to whip around and mess around in, because we've seen the part where they sit down and they poke at the Typhon, they prod at the Typhon and try and figure out how the Typhon works. We haven't seen the real meat of this place just yet.
On an entirely unrelated note, can I mention how incredibly hilarious it is that all of the usable material that comes out of the recycler basically looks and feels like Lego? Like,
yes.
I mean, it honestly reminds me of a whole bunch of Legos that I would play with as a kid for like 4 hours. I'm sure that's intentional. I'm sure that's an intentional design fiat, and I love that they did that.
Well, if they were round holes, they'd fall out.
Scanning.
Good luck.
Shows your mental resources.
Everything happening on Talos 1
This should help.
started
You
here.
should feel more alert.
You were so driven in the beginning. My mistake was agreeing to put you at the center of the tests. That's when you began to drift away from me. We're close to understanding what they're after. What they're building. Just need a little more time.
Yeah. You started to drift away from me when I started like ripping out your memories on random intervals. I wonder how that could have happened. How could that possibly have been a consequence of my insanely unethical experimentation procedure? I have no idea how that one could have worked, Alex.
Hindsight is 20/20.
I think I would have been able to see that one in foresight.
I was afraid of this. The scientists here were in the middle of something when they died. Access to the guts is closed off during experiments. Security protocol. You'll have to finish what they started. Back in the 60s and 70s, the first research teams tried to communicate with the Typhon, but this proved impossible. Their cerebral structures are highly developed and intentional, but somehow unapproachable. They have no speech of their own, no language. They don't even seem to see us. Not like we see ourselves, I mean. I'm generalizing when I say us, of course. I'm not a person. Not like you.
And this is again some serious Hamilton book stuff. Like one of the big themes in all of his books is that anytime you come across you come across an alien race, to even make the slightest assumption about how they even perceive the universe is probably not a valid assumption, which is something that they're really hammering home right now. Basically, what I'm saying is that if you like this game, go read Pandora's Star and or Judas Unchained. Fucking great books. Yay!
There's a...
Oh god. Hello.
Yeah, it just killed itself.
I'm not even sure how it managed to do that.
Watch out.
Yeah, they yell at you and you bump into them. Watch out. They all have their different things to say. So this is the morgue.
Notice that not everything here is actually dead.
Oh well, you know, he had scissors in him, so that's okay. Oh. This is where
no.
Dr. Bellamy's body has been taken, so we gotta go find his body.
And also Mitsuko, the person on the last couple of transcripts who actually seemed to have a good head on her shoulders. That's her corpse. Rip Mitsuko, you will be missed.
Seems to be the ones that have that Asian lady picture face seem to be the ones that aren't stupid and then they die.
Yeah, they're like, hey, maybe we should not do all of this in an insanely reckless way. And they're just like, nah, this is space.
Yeah.
There are no rules in space. I don't, yeah. You're not fooling anybody, Mimic.
But you know what did? This one!
Holy shit, okay.
I wasn't expecting that response from you. That was good. Yeah.
Right,
only all too soon I noticed that there was actually one on the there was a medikit on the desk. That's always your big hint.
Yeah.
Is there a power?
Yep, there it is.
So if you're doing a no powers run, there and you don't have access to the bolt caster for whatever reason, there is a little thing that you can do. It's kind of funny, but you can still do it. But there is a oh yeah, that's just an interesting thing about Neuromods, about how some guys like, I got a Neuromod installed now. I don't even like the movies I used to like. But yeah, so here's where you wanna try and get in the morgue. Now we're going to install the remote manipulation power so that we can take care of this.
This is what makes you an alien. It's that one right there.
No, we aren't quite there yet, but yeah. And there you go. You can also use that to grab stuff and pull it towards you. So it does have slightly more functionality than the bolt caster. We still not at the level that'll make us get shot by turrets yet, though.
Not quite. Must better be careful. I say, knowing that I have absolutely no influence on this decision.
The corpse just falling out of that, and I wasn't looking. I'm very bad at missing jump scares.
This has to do with your luck versus mine, I'm sure.
There we go.
This isn't the first time a Typhon organism has broken containment. It happened before, shortly after your initial Neuromod tests. You and Alex fought about terminating the project, evacuating, but Alex insisted he could control the situation. That's when you began implementing secret contingencies, hiding the plan for your arming key, videos, the January protocol. Your concerns have proven to be correct.
I do like how every time you just ate a pomegranate off some dude's corpse. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's delicious.
Oh man. There was the other dude who had biohazard waste on his body.
And there was a guy who had lemon snacks, and I ate that.
Well, the lemon snacks at least ostensibly were in a wrapper. I mean,
okay, let's complete this. Let's complete this.
All right.
We've got to do one of the experiments they do, which is apparently involves opening a containment shield and deploying a null wave.
Terminating the specimen afterward.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
So this is how a Phantom gets made. Unfortunately, this is how a Phantom gets made that's going to make this entire procedure not work properly.
Warning, examination theater compromised.
It's this if this would be your first Voltaic Phantom encounter if you hadn't gone to Neuromod development.
Right. So okay, so basically a Weaver is responsible for Phantom development.
Examination.
Definitely seems that way.
Creation. Okay. At least in some.
And as you can see, we couldn't deploy our null wave thing, and as you can see there, I couldn't even put any glue on him because this thing's presence was just destroying all the equipment. So it was just like, fuck it. There we go.
Good night, Gracie.
People are quick to project human features onto things they don't understand. The Typhon kill us without hesitation. But it's not because they're evil. It's because they can't do otherwise. You know what we discovered? They lack mirror neurons. For all their wonderful abilities, there's one thing we can do that they can't. Empathize with the suffering of another living creature.
Yeah, I want you to keep that in mind.
That's not real. That's not really a gigantic reveal at this point.
I mean, and the reason I say is because, well, you think about it, just how many of those mirror neurons is everybody on this fucking station missing?
Oh yeah, no, that's one of the greatest. That's one of the greatest ironies in Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep and or Blade Runner, is that like there's that entire thing about how replicants have to fake being empathetic. So you're just like, oh, okay, that's one thing that humans can still do better. But this is an entire universe where animal murder is considered more heinous than like actual murder because so many animals are extinct. Oh yeah, liquid courage.
Get some booze on.
Get your booze on. Oh, okay, there you go.
Just to make it a bit easier to see him.
I was just sad that you couldn't scan him for anything more. Then he hit you and just rebounded directly into the flames, and that kind of made me happy.
There we go. I'll be leaving one of those flames on just for a particularly silly reason. So I'll be getting toasted a few times running through, but don't worry, it's never anything too dangerous.
And the other thing is that it's intentional. So that's the thing that'll keep people from clowning on you for it. Hey!
Yeah, we got our first actual living person right here in front of us.
Ammo? I saw one of them science types go into that armory. Saw him punch in the code. You get me out of here. I'll let you have it.
Scan.
Aaron.
Yeah, and as you'll notice, after he tells you his name, the HUD replaces him from being Subject 13.
That's cool.
And as per a thing we had earlier, his record is up for us and why he's been sent here.
Yep. So he's a kidnapper and a pedophile.
A rap sheet, huh?
Well,
Look, I'm telling you, on my mama's grave, that is a stack of lies meant to make pushing that button easier on you. Okay, fine. Listen, I want to be honest. Some of it probably is true. I done some wrong in my days, but this ain't right now. Come on, y'all got to let me out of here.
I do note that it said this guy was from Siberia, and he has a very clearly American South thing.
I was just getting them out of a bad spot, that's all. Now, the real criminals, they didn't like how I was chipping away at their pile of rubles.
Uh-huh.
Their claws sunk deep in the government. Got me shipped off to the gulag. That's how I ended up here, see?
oh yeah, I see.
Okay, so he just explained that discrepancy.
I put it to the thread with a poll how we will deal with people. Now, we're going to be kind and we're not going to kill everybody. But it doesn't mean I can't show off how exactly you can be a horrible person and kill everybody on the station and then reload.
I'd say that's fair. I'd say that's completely fair.
What's that thing doing in there, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's... Yikes.
You! I told you not to do it! Oh, shit!
Ooh, damn, boy. That's stone cold.
Morgan, did you hesitate? At all? I'm sure he wasn't a good man, but could you have done otherwise, given the opportunity? The Typhon can only kill and destroy, but you're human. You have a choice.
Mimic multiple. Okay, so yeah, that was simply a. Okay. This is an entire way to get the exotic material that you want out of the Typhon. That's an interesting. That's an interesting setup. Incredibly cold-hearted, but
So,
you know,
remember what we were saying about being able to empathize with the suffering of other beings?
Yeah. Get shit on Typhon, get shit on probable kitty diddler, get shit on everybody.
Just, yeah, no, it's fine. Let's just murder a guy that, you know, in cold blood just to get a few bits of extra stuff. It's fine.
Yep, so that's there's moral choice systems in video games, and then there's this shit. Oh, and he even had dim sum.
Yeah, mine now. I do love January's question. Did you even hesitate at all to do that? Like when the
Like,
yeah?
for real, like, relax here. Okay, great.
Ingram.
Yeah. So we're gonna free Aaron now. That never happened.
That was a fever dream. That was you hesitating, basically.
I was just getting...
Here we go.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Some human decency, friend.
And as a reward, he will give us the code to the armory. Of course, you don't necessarily need to rescue him to
Yeah,
get
there
the
are
code.
other ways around there.
Real kindness.
He doesn't sort of say anything. After he made the offer, I did a little thing where I went over and got into the armory and walked out of the armory, and he didn't say anything different. He just doesn't give you the code.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, it would have been really funny if he was like, "Okay, there goes my bargaining chip. Okay, bye." So yeah, your reason you keep one flame there is I read that's how you keep that poor fellow alive. Because if you don't, then the mimics will get in and kill him.
You get what now?
Good stuff in here.
Oh,
Sorry?
keep one weapon in there. Okay, right, yeah.
No, the flames outside.
I'm sure he
Oh, okay.
I'm curious if it was compassion, or was there some other motive?
A
I can
vote.
react in ways that advance
Sorry,
my
January, it was a poll.
The Typhon can only kill and destroy, but you're human. You have a choice.
We're good people.
Or at least we try to be.
I don't mean to be a nuisance, but when do you think we'll get to that breach?
I'm headed out there as we speak.
What do you think happened?
Hard to say until I lay eyes on it. Could be some micrometeoroids punched a hole. Rare, but it happens.
Okay, good. Hopefully it's just that.
Is there something you're not telling me?
No, of course not. It's just that storage room has classified exotic materials. We really can't have it be inaccessible.
I understand.
So I wonder why this place is inaccessible. Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
That's not
dear.
even subtle.
Oh dear. But we can't go in there until we've fixed the problem. And I guess Christine Lloyd was trying to figure out what was in there too, and something
Figured it
stacked
out
up stuff
somehow.
against the wall. Whee!
The slide.
I was like, maybe I could slide under here and not get horribly burned. Nope.
You just got singed. It's okay.
I'm a little annoyed here. He won't heal me.
Come on, man. Pay attention.
Or rather, won't restore my psi. So yeah, we're gonna go for another spacewalk.
Hello. Good to see you again, Dr. Yu.
Alright, don't do that. Seriously, you can't see me. This
He's
is
so-
why you're creepy.
Spacewalk time, spacewalk time, spacewalk time. Only people who grew up with Mr. Squiggle will know what I'm talking about.
I'm wondering if it might be bothering you that you planned your own death. It's a lot to swallow. My advice would be, try not to think about the end. Focus on what's in front of you, one step at a time. I'm here, if you need help.
I have no way to actually talk to you about that, but okay, sure. I mean, it's appreciated, I guess.
Yeah, it is a fair point, you know, like, we've just basically been told we should do this. Ah. Yeah, fix my suit in space.
Thank you.
Got a bit of a breach here, so it's time to use our $1 million cork gun. Very nasty series of tears in it, though. It doesn't look like micrometeors at all, does it?
Does not. That looks like something a little bit more severe than that.
And while he was out there, something killed Jose Costa.
And
So-
he had a couple of lemon peels because why the fuck would you not bring lemon peels on a goddamn spacewalk?
You never know. You might need to, like, you know,
man.
put the peel over the seal, because it can be a
Put the
peel
lime
seal.
in the coconut and drink it all down and put the lime in
That's
the
what happened. He made himself a lime and coconut drink and popped his helmet off to have a drink and died in space. He was like just humming that song to himself, and he was just like, "Yeah," then he died.
And then he realized in space no one can hear you hum.
I can hear you put the lime in the coconut.
God damn it.
There we go. That's pretty much it. We've done everything we really need to do. We're just gonna go in and access that room that we can now access.
Again, Doctor.
That was a goddamn adventure.
Diagnosing superficial injuries. Nothing a portable medical kit can handle. Try to relax. There. All better. Please fill out a patient experience question.
Please
Your
come back.
bot-
Come
your
back. I
bot
want to
is
talk to
creepy.
you. Come back, please. Now, if you can get in there, there's like a door, and I've never actually tried to go in there. Maybe you can. I don't know. Probably a bad idea.
Sounds like something I'll need to take a look at when I inevitably play the fuck out of this game after this Let's Play. Like,
Trying to find different ways to not
I-
get my toes toasted, and that doesn't work.
I appreciate that you're trying to figure out a way to handle that, like every single time you go through. I mean, the fact that none of those things are working really does not reflect poorly on you at all. Huh.
I have a lot of bullets.
Whoa! Okay.
I just looked at that and I'm like, well, looks like there's no recycling for me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, the poltergeist is dead when we get there, and there's a phantom in here. I guess the implication is that the phantoms generally don't suffer the presence of a poltergeist and will attempt to kill them, because they are in fact a deviancy.
Fuck you, Mimic. Suffer not the poltergeist to live.
Ain't afraid no ghosts. Also, here's our shadow. First real good look at our shadow we've gotten in a while. And hey, look at this. Here's a poster about Aaron Ingram, and it's basically saying, hey, I've done everything. Now I'm on my way back to Earth. He was in the cell. They were about to fucking murder him in a cage
Yep.
and then lie about it. And they put a poster in his room saying that they'd done that.
Yep,
Like, how much of a...
mirror
Motor neurons,
baby.
everybody. Yeah, mirror neurons. That tells everybody that we're human beings and we're not horrible, horrible monsters.
Yeah.
That's the question. Morgan, how complicit were you in this? I would venture to guess that, like, considering your position in this, you're highly top-level complicit.
I mean, at the absolute least, you knew some shit was going on. And you
It would be
definitely did
impossible to
nothing
be
about it.
working down here without knowing some shit was going on.
Seriously. Like, even the technicians are just like, man, this place is creepy. Something is wrong. You know, how can you not be anything more than a grunt and not know I'm probably going to hell for all of this.
Yeah. As a grounding resistor, they can be used to, like, fix, like, power outages and stuff when certain damage is done to certain areas of the station. But we don't have a
I was
useful
wondering
one
what
right
that was
now.
all about.
Yeah.
Oh, Typhon lure. Nice.
Yeah, remember we got those in the hardware lab, so I got some more.
Yeah, I forgot about these.
Yeah, of
Okay.
course we don't need them. We don't need them.
Because they're
You can
just
probably...
sort of owning the crap out of themselves for no discernible reason.
There's a turret.
Oh, okay. That's a pretty good reason.
Well, there's 2 turrets, actually. So
That's an even
like,
better reason.
I wonder if there's a way in there. I don't see one readily available. I'm not entirely sure if you could just destroy those locks to do it. Something tells me you're not ever supposed to go in there.
That sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, that sounds like a challenge!
You can just mentally replace me with Stinko Man from Homestar Runner every time I say something like that.
I like that. There's the scientific names for the Weaver and the Poltergeist too, if anyone was wondering.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to run those by an actual environmental scientist friend of mine just to see what she thinks of those.
So yeah, this is basically how the game would tell you, hey, you've injected way too much Typhon junk into yourself.
Turrets. Transtar's last-ditch defense against an outbreak. Flimsy, but they're easy to fabricate. Best part is the built-in psychoscope tech. They can discriminate between alien and human targets. Shouldn't be a problem for you, since you're not an alien.
Yet.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, and that's it. We're in next
guts.
episode. We'll be going on into the guts,
Do you have it?
which is, it makes you think you're going to be seeing the weird internal workings of the space station that normally living and working in it you probably wouldn't see, and you'd be absolutely correct. So it's going to be a very long journey up a very long tunnel in no gravity with a whole lot of messed up stuff whirring past us.
Hang on, I'm going to insist that you play like the Blue Danube at some point during it, just because I watched too many frickin' Warner Brothers cartoons where anytime they went underwater, the Blue Danube would start playing.
Well, we're technically not underwater. We're
I mean...
there's just it's microgravity. We're essentially going through inside the walls, so to speak. And that's for next time.
Keep going.
And yeah, this has been our highly unethical journey for all the way through Psychotronics, where we can see the horrible crimes against humanity that we've been committing. Next time, it'll just be us and the Typhon and the Tunnel of Love. So until then, I've been the last RoboKai.
And I've been Cool Guy.
And we'll see you all in the guts.